Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 9 wins on the trot. Cricket World Cup 2023 has been a dream run for Rohit Sharma and his team. Team India have stumped everybody. Clearly, odds-on favourites, stamping their authority across whoever has come their way. If 9 bowlers that were used in that match at the Chinnaswamy Stadium against the Netherlands could bundle the Dutch for just 250, there's something that's working that makes this team unstoppable. What is it? And will that juggernaut and will that roll on continue at the Wankhede? Mind you, 2011 it was at the Wankhede that 6 from Dhoni happened and India became World Cup champions. They did. It'll be the same field. Let's go across and talk to those who know so much about cricket and who are so much more passionate than all of us as fans, because they've played the game, now they're watching the game, they've coached the teams, and now they're also fans along with being commentators and experts. Venkatesh Prasad with us and also Murli Karthik. Namaste and Jai Hind, gentlemen. We're waiting for Jimmy Pa also to join us. Thank you very, very much. Venkatesh
Jai
Prasad.
Hind and happy Diwali
Shubh
to
Deepavali to
everyone.
all of you. Lovely. Now,
Oh, thank you
gentlemen.
very much. Happy Deepavali. We call it as Deepavali.
Yes.
Diwali.
Diwali, Deepavali.
Down south, it's Deepavali. Yes, of course.
Yeah, so all of us, 3 South Indians here, who have also plied their wares in the north, so saddling all of Bharat. So let's take this forward. 1996, if I remember correctly, was it? There, the off-stick of Amir Sohail was at the same stadium where the Netherlands were blown away by 9 different bowlers. Venkatesh Prasad, what are you thinking when Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli were rolling their arm? Gosh, you know, how this is a team that lost to a team that did not even qualify into to the World Cup, ahead of the World Cup. You're so critical of them. What's transformed in this group, Venkatesh Prasad?
I was not critical about the team, Anand. It was just maybe an individual or a couple of them. That's about it. Then, for obvious reasons, look, and that was mainly, because of their performance or their roles, especially which they were not performing to the best of their ability, and that was in a particular format that was mostly Test cricket, not one-day cricket, and to a certain extent, of course, T20. That criticism was on T20 as well because they were taking their own sweet time. And again, not being effective. So that's why the criticism was there. But otherwise, I think now going forward in this World Cup, I think they have gelled, together superbly well. They all have done their job, done their roles, to perfection. And not just about that, I think they're able to understand the situation and they're playing according to the situation. They've shown a lot of maturity, Anand. So I think hats off to not just the players, even the team management as well. The way they've handled the players, given them their freedom to express. So it's been wonderful, as you rightly mentioned. The juggernaut, it keeps on rolling, and pretty much every single game, other than the first game against Australia, I think every other game, I think it was pretty much, Indians won quite comprehensively.
Well, how much credit would you want to give Jamie for this? Because he copped a lot of criticism also in the run-up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, see, a couple of them were not sure about their spots, and there was always the discussion of number 4 and 5 batter, who's going to play that role, who's going to bat at number 4 or 5. They didn't have someone who could bring that stability in those numbers. Of course, 1, 2, 3 was pretty much confirmed with Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, and Virat Kohli, of course. So that's where the confusion was. That's where there was a lot of discussion. Nobody was sure. I'm sure even Rahul Dravid, Jamie, also I'm sure even he was not pretty confident about it. So one of the reasons why I think he had to go through those criticism, and it's a part and parcel of the game. I mean, everyone, Murli Karthik or everyone has gone through. Me and every single, even Sachin Tendulkar has gone through. Virat Kohli a couple of years back, he went through criticism for not scoring those hundreds, where he took a lot of time, a lot of months to score his 100. He was not in form. But I think it's just a phase, isn't it? And they've really come out of it superbly well. And they've been enjoying each other's company, complementing one another. especially when it comes to fast bowling. I think they
Right.
have been terrific. They've been terrific. I think,
Karthik?
Mohammad Siraj
Now, we'll come to
and
the
others,
bowling
I
in
think
just
they've
a bit.
been
We'll come
wonderful.
to the bowling in just a bit. But Karthik, what do you
Okay.
think? What do you think has actually worked? Why do you think Team India is looking unstoppable? You know, they're marauding Rangers. पहले batting कराओ, पहले bowling कराओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. जो आया धो डाला. How did they get to this? Where do you think this transition suddenly happened? They've shifted 4 gears up, not even 1 gear or 2 gears.
Yeah, and then for the last 10 years, I've been watching them closely because from the time I finished, I've been commentating and move in the same circle. When I say move in the same circle, we are there at the ground and watching them. I think one of the most important things for any sports person is transparency and honesty. I just feel that when you are a person at the helm of affairs, and by that, whether it's a selector, whether it's a coach or a captain, you always want to tell the player whether he's getting picked or dropped, the reasons for it. And I mean, not dropped from the 15 alone, but dropped from the playing 11 as well. Because what you don't want going into a tournament like World Cup is insecurity. When we are talking about everybody is happy around one another, they're all rallying for one another and rallying around one another. It has come from the fact that you always hear Rohit Sharma talk about we have told them this, we have told them that, and that is a great place to be, whether it's an organization or whether it's a team. If your captain and coach can be brutally honest with you, guys like Ishan Kishan who have done well and are sitting out, Ashwin possibly sitting out, Mohammad Shami, everybody was questioning
Yeah.
whether Mohammad Shami would be in the right space of mind when he comes back because he's just taken 5 wickets against Australia. When you think about it and think about it very closely, you just think of what these guys have done. They've been quite open and honest with the players and the group of players they want them. Obviously, it comes down to whom they want around and also the kind of individuals who have responded very nicely. Yes, that's one of the reasons I feel that you can have a great team on paper, just like England was, just like Australia was to start off, and they've kick-started their campaign after the first few games. What India have done leading up to the World Cup is that they've picked a group of players who
Right.
obviously are in prime form, and collectively they have fired. So the collective confidence of the side is at the top of Mount Everest. You can think of all these guys. You can see how they are. They know what the other man can do. The kind of healthy competition which we're talking about. The other competition is what breeds insecurity. Healthy competition forces every player to be the best versions of themselves because you are actually competing with the other person, not trying to show him down because the team will benefit. Simple things like the fielding award which has been given. Everybody
Yeah.
is vying for it. Small things add up to making a side which is brewing and brimming with confidence. And you can see that whether it's the bowling, all five bowlers are bowling like it's not about the wickets. It could be that one day Kuldeep doesn't get a wicket, but Ravindra Jadeja comes and bowls a peach of a delivery. Mohammad Shami might not get a wicket, but Bumrah and Siraj. So it's about how they have rallied around each other, and I think it's come from absolute transparency. And you have to give all the credit to people behind
Right.
who have managed to create that environment.
I've got two bowlers with us on the panel, so clearly we've got to talk more about bowling than the batting. But I'm on to quote a batsman himself. Michael once said, if Bumrah doesn't get you, Siraj will. Siraj doesn't get you, Shami will. Shami doesn't get you, Kuldeep will. And Kuldeep doesn't get you, then Jadeja will. That's how the Indian bowling is looking at.
Even
But
Chiku might get you. If they all don't get, then Chiku will get you.
yeah, so then Chiku or Rohit will get you. So that's what we saw at the Netherlands. What's worked here? Is it purely because of the way Bumrah's come back? Lots of doubts around him. And is it Bumrah who's actually leading from the front? Let's start with you, Venki. Where do you start? What would you pin on as far as the bowling is concerned? Why are we looking so good that we bundle out teams like South Africa that scored 428 here? We bundled them out for what? Nothing. They couldn't even get up to 100. So, those kind of scores, how is it that we were able to do that? What we did with England, 229 mein hum out ho gaye, unko 129 mara tha, ja, 100 runs tumko aur khatam. How did we do it? Why did we do it? And all are different pitches.
Look,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Against Sri Lanka, it was just 55 at Wankhede. So another venue, different team. Right. So I think if I have to say one thing or maybe a couple of things about the bowling department, it's just that they're extremely consistent where the other bowlers or the other teams are not. They're hitting the right lengths. They're hitting those. So when I say right length, so you might ask me, what is the right length? So they're hitting that test match sort of a line and length, especially, bowling on the fourth stump, just around off stump, and hitting that good length, getting the batsman onto the front foot, where we have seen a lot of batters not able to move their feet properly. And because they're pitching consistently in those good lengths, and on and around off stump, they've been asking every single delivery. They've been asking questions, to the batters. And if you look at that England game, for example, when Shami was bowling to Ben Stokes, it was a good length delivery. He should have come forward. Well, I think his feet was somewhere else, and he was trying to play on the offside, and he completely exposed the stumps, and he was clean bowled. So that consistency is lacking in other teams. I think that is what is making the Indian bowlers very potent, very fearful. It's not an express pace, but then they've been asking questions to the batters, and making the batter play every single delivery. And even look at their body language. I think when they're running in and bowling, whether it's Bumrah or a Siraj or a Shami for that matter, when they're running in and bowling, you can see that the intent is there to get a wicket every single ball. And that's one of the reasons why even a slip fielders have been taking so many wonderful catches, whether it's Shubman Gill or a Virat Kohli, and they're expecting, or Shreyas Iyer, they're expecting the ball to come to them, because they know that some delivery is going to definitely move away or come back in, and it might take an outside edge, and it is going to come to them, because that is how they're looking. That's how the body language is. That's how the approach has been. And as you said, if Bumrah doesn't get your wicket, Siraj or Shami or the others will get a wicket. So what has been happening is, if one of them is not getting a wicket, he's constantly applying that pressure. So that's the beauty of this bowling attack.
So there is no pressure cooker release which is allowed, which any bowler is allowing the batsman to open their hand. And you talked about Stokes versus Shami. That was a setup. It was classic Test match cricket, where a bowler is actually using 1.5 overs to set up a player and then getting the better of him, and who lives. Even with Markham the other day, we saw that with Siraj he got lucky twice, and the third time Siraj got him. They seem to be bowling to a plan. Is that the only thing, Karthik, or is there more? Is there more that you would want to add? Like, somehow from when the team says Eden Gardens, we expected Jadeja to step up, and he did. So are they reading the conditions so well that they know which bowler, kaun sa bowler us din chalne wala hai, or kiska haath chalega?
See, the key to any bowling and any bowling lineup is how quickly you adapt to situations and conditions. And if you look at the Indian team, we have played 11 different venues if you include the practice matches as well. And for a unit to adapt quickly is what is crucial. And you want all 5 of them. There is no release. It's like they strangulate. If it's, as you said, Jasprit Bumrah adds a lot of bite to the bark, which is from the other players. But he adds a lot of bite, because at one end it's Jasprit Bumrah. And also what happens is, sometimes when Glenn McGrath, even if he bowled a half volley, people were respectful because of the fact that he carries that aura around him. Why were people fearful of Virender Sehwag? Because even before you bowled a ball, you knew that he was coming after you. So why were teams fearful of the Australian teams? Because they knew that they are coming after you. So sometimes when even Bumrah bowls a bad delivery, he doesn't get away with it because of the fact that it's just Preet Bumrah. And then you add to that, guys, all of them have adapted so beautifully to every surface. What is the pace to be bowled? What is the length to be bowled? Venki mentioned the lengths that they're bowled. Every wicket, every wicket doesn't require the same length. Sometimes the line changes. Sometimes everything changes because of the batsman you're bowling to. And I think that is where they've been exceptional. As you said, they are like alligators. They are like, not alligators, ajgar. Ajgar, they strangulate. So if one guy is strangulating, the other guy gets wickets. It's not that everybody has to. They constrict. They constrict and stifle and stymie the opposition. That they are extremely confident. That is why you have to give credit. See, one is skill, which all of them have. And one is collective skill, which means that all 5 or 6 of them are firing at the right time.
Correct.
For India, it's a good thing that whether it be the batting or the bowling, all of them are firing.
True. I think we just lost Karthik for a second there. I think Jimmy Paji is also joining us. I'm just going to check. In 30 seconds, we should have Jimmy Amarnath also joining us, and we'll ask him to. Oh, he's there with us. Namaste, Jimmy Pa. Thank you very much. Some network
Namaste
issues.
ji.
Good to have you with us. This
Yes.
is Anand Narasimhan here. We've got Venkatesh Prasad and also Murli Karthik already on the show with us. Jimmy
Ji.
Pa, when Hardik Pandya got injured, a lot of people said, oh, we've lost the Jimmy Amarnath of 83 in our team. That's what everybody looked at, that role that Hardik was playing. But let me ask you, what are the 2 or 3 factors that has made our team unstoppable, despite injury woes, despite changing tack, Shubman Gill not there earlier on, then Hardik not there, but despite that, unstoppable. Why?
No, I think injuries are part and parcel of the game. I think when you have such a long tournament, it's bound to happen and happen at the wrong time, definitely. And I think what's the plus point is with the Indian team that the way they are playing fearless cricket, and especially start from the top of the batting order from Rohit Sharma. And I think the planning has been fantastic. And that has also been the reason because see what happens when you're a guy like Rohit Sharma, top of the order, when he goes and attack the opposition, I think it's created doubt in the mind of the bowlers to what length to bowl, whether to bowl short or bowl up to him, and they would do that he would hit them all over the ground. So I think whatever anybody coming into bowl next, probably bowl on a defensive line, defensive length, and this is what they were doing. And that suited the Indian batting. And then when you have a guy like Virat Kohli coming and in full form and all that, and then Iyer is contributing, and then everybody, I think, coming good at the right time. And I think we shouldn't forget that we are playing in India, and this is not the wicket where the pace bowlers are always successful when you bowl at a shorter length. This is what I think they were trying to do. They were trying to bounce, and they would get them on those one stroke. I think that they played in the hand of the Indian batting lineup. And then coming to bowling, I think when you have a bowler like Shami and Bumrah and Jadeja and other guys over there, I think so everybody contributed at the right time. I think the only way you can contain a side and put them under pressure when you take wickets. And when you take wickets, I think they have no answer, and they couldn't really get used to the pace and the spin and the swing of Indian bowlers. So I think these were the factors I think that has been the leading thing for the Indian team to be at the top of the table. And it's all said and done. I think it's all over now because all the matches are finished. I think what they have to do and start thinking what they're going to do in the next game. Don't think about the final. It's only one game you have to think about. And then how well you're going to play, whether you continue in a similar fashion or you're going to change your tactics or you're going to play differently. So I think this is what we have to watch and see.
So New Zealand, इनको एक बार तो हरा दिया इस बार. So we maintained that record at home that we are unbeatable against them. But in the World Cup, especially in the knockouts, we don't have a great record, and especially against the Kiwis. At the Wankhede, let me start with you, Jimmy Ba, and then we'll bring in Venki and Karthik also on this. What do you think India needs to do? Irrespective of how the toss falls, batting करें पहले या chase करें, whatever it is. What do you think is going to make us enter that final?
No, as I said, I don't think we should think about the final to start with. To be very honest, just take it as it comes. I think toss is important, especially in the knockout stages. And I feel when you're playing a big game, and I think depends on the nature of the wicket. If it's a good track, I think you have to have score, you have to runs on the board. Once you have that, then you can put the opposition under pressure. So I think Wankhede is one place. It has everything for everybody, whether a spinner or a pace bowler or a batter. So you have to be a quality player to perform over there. So I think India has a lot of quality over here, so has the New Zealanders. So I think it all depends how well you handle the situation and the pressure. And I think everyone has to contribute and do his job for the team. You can't win the game with one guy. I think you have to just everyone has to contribute. Only then you can be a winner.
But teams have got off to starts against our bowling. It's not that they haven't. Pakistan were 150 for 2 and then they capitulated. England were 50 for no loss and then they capitulated. So there are other teams also that have gotten off to starts. Afghanistan got up to 280 against us, 270, 280 against us, if I remember correctly. Nobody's crossed 300. That's a different part. But it's not that they've not gotten off to starts. And then we've been able to hold them back. The other thing is with our batting. We're 2 for 3 and we win a match. This happened against the Aussies. Not just necessarily in the World Cup, but I'm just saying in the run-up through Asia Cup, we've seen that even if there are setbacks early, we come back. नहीं तो ओपनर 250 मारते हैं तो नीचे जो है 4 और 5 आके कहते हैं चलो हम 100 मारेंगे. We saw it against the Kiwis, against the Dutch, beg your pardon. So Venkatesh, what do you think we need to do right, or is there a stumbling block? Is there something which you feel could be a chink that the opposition could exploit? It's not that we've come, it's never happened to us that we've been undefeated into the semis. इससे पहले भी हुआ था, 19 में भी हुआ था, if I remember.
नहीं देखिए जी इसमें यहाँ पे ये है.
Can I ask Venkatesh Prasad to chip in, Jimmy Pa, and then I'll come back to you, sir.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Anand, I don't see any chink in the armory here as far as the Indian team is concerned, whether it's batting or bowling. I think they've ticked almost every single box, including the fielding as well, the ground fielding, the catching, and their spin department. And of course, yeah, it's a big blow as far as Hardik Pandya, missing Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya not being there. He would have brought in an amazing stability both with the bat and the ball as well. But then that's how the game goes. Having said that, I think the only concern for me is that if at all any one bowler has an off day, that is going to be the issue for Indian team. Because we are playing with just five bowlers, which includes Ravindra Jadeja as well. One of the fast bowler has an off day, and if he goes for runs, and if the other bowler, if he's economical but is not able to get wickets, then I think the team might cross 300, maybe for the first time against India. So that's the only area of concern as far as I'm concerned. But otherwise, every box they have ticked. They have had some outstanding opening partnerships. Right. They have, whether it's Rohit Sharma, if Rohit Sharma fails, it is Virat Kohli, or Virat Kohli fails, Rohit Sharma. So both of them have not failed in a single match. And even if that happens, the others also have got runs. Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, they all have got runs under their belt. So they're high in confidence for sure. And whatever has happened in the past, or whatever has happened in the league stage, or whatever the history might say about the Indian team playing the knockouts and against New Zealand, that's all in the past. That's all history.
So they were playing in that moment. In that moment, Karthik.
Absolutely.
Karthik, final minute.
Final minute, Karthik. Said adaptability. I think these guys have adapted superbly well.
Superb. Karthik, Rachin, Ravindra, Virat Kohli are all eyeing that 673 magic number of Sachin. So Virat already has 750s. He's matched Sachin's record. You think some magic will be there. We hardly spoken about the Kiwis today, but we will do that come Tuesday. But yes, please.
No, so for me, the only thing I am wary of is that you just don't want to change your mindset, because this mindset has brought you 9 victories on the trot. And thinking of whatever has happened in ICC tournaments, I just hope that the mindset doesn't change, because suddenly you reach a certain knockout game and then you change the way, or you suddenly become circumspect or tentative about that game because one loss and you're back. I just don't want India to go through that. This is what has taken you here. This is what will take you to the finals. That needs to be the mindset.
Very well said. Gentlemen, always lovely speaking cricket and talking cricket with such amazing people who I really, really love. Thank you so much. Fantastic conversation, and look forward to many more as India progresses in this tournament like they have so far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With that, we call it a wrap on this edition. Stay with us.